There we go. It is September 4th, 2016. This is the Overdose Talk Show. And I am so glad to be back. We're back on the grind now, right? Are we going to keep doing shows now?
Back on the grind.
Okay. Andrea's here. David Box, say hello.
Hey.
And our other sister and arch nemesis, Katie, sitting in tonight.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
Yes, nice to talk to you again.
Oh, pleasure.
So we don't really have any big plans for tonight. We're just gonna fuck around and see what comes up, and maybe be taking some calls if anyone decides to. Why don't people call the show? We get a decent amount of listeners sometimes. And it's like people are shy or something. They're probably
They never call anymore.
They're intimidated.
No, I have a. No. It's because you guys don't put the phone number in the description for the link.
It's
Every
everywhere.
Time. No, it's not. And sometimes you have to go on your page and go back really far to like a month ago to find the phone number.
No.
You just look at the info on the page.
Yeah, if you're listening.
You look at the info on the page. And I'm too dumb to know how to do that.
Also, it's in the description on UStream and on all of our YouTube videos.
Yeah, if you're listening to us live on UStream, as you can for YouTube listeners, you can catch the show live on UStream. And also, we got the website now, which we forgot to mention, overdosetalkshow.com. And you can, if you prefer to just download an episode instead of running YouTube on your phone or whatever, just grab the downloads for free. And I think most of the recent episodes are up there. And what else can people do? That's about all our website does right now.
Yeah. Also, it's got a neat picture of us.
Does it?
And it links to the YouTube page. So there you go.
So there, yeah. So go to overdosetalkshow.com to download the episodes. I enjoy that, young Andrea, because then I don't have to worry about interruptions. Like YouTube sucks on your phone. Everybody knows that. And if you get
maybe on your phone,
you get a phone call while you're listening to something, and then it pauses the fucking video, you know what I'm talking about? Or even a text message sometimes, and then like anything your phone needs to do pauses YouTube. That's what always been my experience. So anyways, you download it, throw it in your fucking little folder in your phone. I'm not really good at that stuff, but hey, you pull it right up. I did it the other day to test it out. It was very nice. So wherever you store your podcast, whatever. So to start the show off tonight, I know I asked everyone to bring, a little something to the show, and I was going to start with this little anecdote. The other day, my girlfriend and I were driving here in beautiful New Orleans, and we're going along a street next to the highway, and the highway's up high, so you're basically, just going past this whole labyrinth of under the bridge area where homeless people live, and there's all these tents and kind of people walking around and weird looking shit going on, and we're stopped in traffic for a minute, and Darcy just like goes, something, holy shit or whatever, something, and she just has this horrified look on her face, and I'm like frantically scanning like Where's Waldo of it's like a Where's Waldo of homeless people, and I'm like, where is the really offensive thing happening? And I didn't see him. Like, what? And she's like, that man is masturbating right there. And there is a gentleman, I would say in his late 40s, he looked to be. Something along those lines, late 40s, early 50s, an African-American gentleman, just laying on his back in a pile of, like, trash, and, like, his meager possessions, like a fucking umbrella and a cooler and, a couple things laying around. And he's just laying on his back like an otter in the sun, just pulling on his penis straight up and down, not attempting to hide it whatsoever, at all. He's literally just laying on his back, masturbating completely in the open. But he wasn't alone. I mean, here's why I couldn't pick it out at first, because there was all kinds of activity, and there was probably a good 20 or 30 people, in a small area in front of him, which was kind of the common area, the courtyard of this little homeless, city under the bridge kind of deal. So there's all these people congregating and milling around like right in front of him, and no one gave a shit at all. Everyone, yeah, this is just another fucking day being homeless in New Orleans. This is what it's like. This guy just lays here and masturbates all day. And I'm frantically trying to get my fucking phone up. Like, I need a video of this, you know, and then traffic starts going, and I couldn't get my camera up fast enough, and then I didn't want to be, like, stopping traffic to film a guy masturbating. That just seemed really creepy all of a sudden. So I just started moving. But, you know, that's what it's like to live here in New Orleans. You see a lot of nice things. A lot of people having a good experience here.
Yeah.
But, dude, imagine being in that, like, that's just normal. Like, yeah, that guy he's just laying there masturbating. Who gives a shit? Oh, and the other thing that sucked about it, you don't want to see a guy openly just masturbating under a bridge with your girlfriend, especially if his penis is bigger than yours by a lot. That's just a weird, awkward feeling. It's like, like this guy, and I started to have like really irrational thoughts, like you probably fucking want that guy, you know, like what the fuck, that probably turned you on a lot, the fucking guy under the bridge jacking off, fucking huge.
Like, we can't deny that at this point. You can't pretend you didn't see it.
He had a very large penis, and it's nothing to be ashamed of to have a smaller penis than this guy at all. This guy was I'd say in the top 5%. He's got to be easily. But but the point is, I started to get like jealous for a second. Like, what do you know? Like, she's gonna jump out of the car. Oh my goodness, you sure are a confident boy, aren't you? Maybe I can sit down here and help you out with that. That's like going on. She probably wants that guy. She probably loves him more than me now. That's what it's like. That's what it's like to be a neurotic, depressed male. See a hobo jacking off? Boy, oh boy. Do you get protective over your girl?
I once saw a man pleasuring himself in a Target store.
Did you?
In the store?
Oh yeah, I was like 16, and me and my two friends were shoplifting, and Target was our favorite place to shoplift from.
Yeah.
So I'm walking through the ladies' underwear section, and I heard like a jingling noise. I'm like, what's this jingling noise? It was like keys jingling.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked over, and there was a gentleman. He had
like the use of the word gentleman almost always means someone isn't a gentleman anymore. Like, people only use that word instead of, you know, like pervert or asshole.
Yeah. No, he had his dingling out, and he had his keys like looped around his finger, you know, so they were dangling down.
Why?
You know? So
he can make them
probably to attract people to women that were shopping to notice that he was.
Yeah.
You know,
he's like one of those fish that has like that little fiber optic little bait growing off the front of his head.
Exactly. It's the same strategy.
Yeah.
Waiting for something to come by.
He was jingling his wiener.
And
there.
you guys saw him?
I saw him. My friends were not by me at the time, so I ran and found them, and I was like, "Man, we gotta tell security or whatever.
Dude,
we
that's
gotta tell
always
somebody."
such a,
and they were
that moment of seeing a stranger jacking off in public. I don't know why it's so common, but I've seen it. Okay, what now? 3 times, I think. It's just it's a weird thing. Katie, you were there for one of the other ones. Remember, we were at your apartment on like the far north side when you lived in Chicago, and we were just.
And there was a guy in the alley.
And there was a guy that just pulled up in the alley, just again with a giant penis jerking off. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
Oh
No.
yeah, dude. What?
I remember that. I didn't see it.
You guys were
I remember it happening.
You guys were sitting by the window, and then you all just started screaming, and we were like, "What?" And we all ran over to the window, and there's a guy jerking off in his car right outside the window, and then he like pulled away, all creepy.
Yeah.
You forgot about that?
I do. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so that
Must have
happened.
really traumatized.
But that was another time we were all like, what the fuck? Was that real? That guy had like a 15-inch dick. What the fuck was going on there? So I don't even know if that was real, but it looked real. And then I remember that was like the main conversation afterwards. Like, I forget who said it first. Was like, is anyone going to mention, how absurdly large that guy's penis was? No? Okay, never mind. No, but then there was another time that me and my girlfriend at the time were going to smoke a bowl behind this abandoned toboggan thing. It's out in the woods, where they used to ride toboggans, and it's all abandoned now, and it's kind of cool back there, whatever. So we're going back there to get high, and we had just been talking to this like nice older man who was like riding his bike and stuff, and he was probably in his early 60s or something, older white guy. And we're talking for like 20 minutes, and then we like part ways. All right, see you later. And we're both trying to sneak away from each other, us to go smoke weed, and apparently him to go masturbate while staring down the old toboggan chute. Because we came around the corner, and this guy's just standing at the top of the toboggan thing, just with his bike shorts like fully around his fucking like knees. Just not even like trying to be secret, just like around his like knees or below, and he's just standing there jerking off, and we're just like, whoa. And he starts the funniest. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. He ran around the corner of the building with his pants still down, so he was just running with his pants like around his knees, taking those like short steps like as fast as he could. He got around the corner, and we just started laughing our asses off. We're like, all right, I guess we can get high here now.
Well, at least you have the decency to be embarrassed about it.
Why is that so common? You would think that would be a thing that you would never see, but I'm sure everybody's seen that once, right?
I have not. I was there that one time at Katie's apartment, but I didn't actually see it. I was just in the room.
Oh, so you just remember the outrage that took place afterwards.
Yeah.
How dare he? We were all mad. Like, what is that guy's?
Yeah.
We should beat the shit out of that guy. All right.
Yeah. That's so disturbing.
Yes. How dare he?
We'll probably never see that again.
But the funny thing was, the other thing I remember about that was the conversation you guys were having close to the window that he was apparently pleasuring himself to was about bowel movements, if I remember correctly, because we laughed. we laughed about that, and everybody was talking about shitting, and he's outside fucking jerking off. Oh man, life is sure funny. David Box, you never seen that? B? DB?
You're cutting out there, Vinny.
Sorry, you never seen that before?
No, I've never witnessed public masturbation ever. There was a high school who attempted to masturbate by slapping his thighs together, but I don't think it worked out.
Really? Like he was just sitting in class just like slapping his legs open and closed, and you're like, we all know what you're doing. Like we've all tried this before. Like you just
Is that
Like, we're going to be the first one that actually does it.
wait? Is that a technique?
Oh yeah, you can do that. You just sometimes I like to go to a playground and just hang from the monkey bars and slap my thighs together. In short shorts and long socks with stripes and low top running shoes. I don't know why I'm always every time I'm doing something creepy, I'm from the 80s. That's always what happens.
Sweatband.
The 80s was creepy.
Mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess is that all the times we see people masturbate? I didn't really intend for this to happen, but I guess we ran through them all, huh?
Yeah, I don't have any.
I mean, if we've seen people masturbating this many times,
Yeah.
can you imagine how many people do it like regularly?
Yeah,
like,
how many
there
times
must
people
be
aren't
people
seen.
everywhere.
Well,
just masturbating, like on every street corner,
Yeah,
under every bridge, just at all times. Yeah,
there's places that I think it's actually like a problem. Like I think if I maybe you can look this up, Andrea, but I think there's like an epidemic in Japan of like trained masturbators and gropers and like people that like that like wear like like jogging pants or something, and somehow get their hand in there and are just like masturbating while leaning on a woman on the train. I think that goes on. It's easy to picture somewhere far away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Am I a xenophobe? Andrea, look.
Let's see. Apparently, Syria is having a problem with public masturbation.
Oh, they are?
Why is that so funny to me?
I don't know.
It's probably easy anywhere that men wear big robes.
Of course it is.
yeah.
What do you think the whole point of those robes are? It's for all sorts of deviant sexual acts.
To the bottom.
Yeah. Those guys are getting away with murder over there, just jacking it like nobody's business. And how rare is it that somebody actually gets caught in one of those situations too? You got to have balls to call. Hey, where are your hands right now? What are you talking about, dude? Where are your hands? I can't see. You're wearing so many flowing layers of senseless clothing to have in the desert that I just don't know why we do it. But anyways, where are your hands? Just right here, and you take a second, like, you're being weird. How are you gonna prove that shit? So if they're having a documented epidemic, just imagine that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, that's a horrible.
Tip of the long throbbing iceberg. Public masturbation. Public masturbation.
All right, well, they found some new pyramids.
Where?
Did you know?
Who masturbated there?
Yeah.
Probably all sorts of people.
How does this tie into
Kazakhstan,
masturbation?
There's There is a new pyramid that they found in Kazakhstan that they think is even older than the pyramids in Egypt.
Where's Kazakhstan?
Near.
No, I was just gonna say the rest of us know definitely, but Andrea should explain it.
I believe Kazakhstan is near the Fertile Crescent, where life really took hold.
Thanks for clearing that up for us.
Yeah.
Do you not know where the Fertile Crescent is? Okay.
You guys don't know shit about geography.
Isn't
Let's
it by
see, it's
Turkey?
by Uzbekistan.
Oh,
that
over
right
there. Okay, yeah.
Turkestan,
Right.
Turkestan,
Yeah.
Mongolia,
All the Istans.
Right.
and one of the Olias.
Right. We all know,
I know where
Andrea. Why don't you get on with the point? So this pyramid, what's so great about it being older than the Egyptian pyramids? Aren't there lots of those around the world?
Well, it's over 3,000 years old. No, not really. Not ones of this scale, at least.
Okay.
It's got, I'll share a picture on the Facebook, but it's like a square bottomed pyramid. There's not much of it left, but it's
Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures right
2
now. It
meters tall.
looks pretty whack, actually.
Let's see, it's 49 by 46 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, they say it's small for a pyramid.
Yeah, it sure as fuck is. Look at that thing. The worst pyramid I've ever fucking seen.
How did they where was it? How was it hidden for 3,000 years and nobody knew about it?
Well, it's here. Look at these are the remains.
Well, let me see.
It looks like it's been partially excavated.
Oh, it was
But
underground.
they keep finding that kind of stuff from Google Maps. People hop on Google Maps and just look at photos of empty places, and there's certain indicators, the way the ground is and shapes that are that appear from space that maybe you wouldn't see from the ground.
That's cool.
They've actually discovered a lot of new ancient pyramids since people have started just examining Google Earth and satellite photos and stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's a shitload.
Since it's still now.
But see, people have known that for quite some time. We were talking a while ago about the ones in, oh boy. It was one of the Eastern European countries full of white people, but God damn it, I can't remember which one. But they found pyramids there last year, remember? It just happens all the time, and then people just forget. And then every time it's oh, this is a huge revelation. And the truth is, this shit was just spread way further than mainstream history, originally thought. So whatever. That's just what's going on. Right?
And also,
Fuck all of you
yeah.
then. God.
Why?
Do you know where the largest pyramid is?
Where?
Does anybody know?
Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's-
I did know that.
What is that one?
The Great Pyramid of Cholula.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that. Hot sauce.
It's not as tall. It's not as tall as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Everyone thinks that it's a Great Pyramid of Giza is the biggest one.
Yeah.
But this one is like half buried in a mountain, and it has like dirt built up all on top of it. So for a long time, people just thought it was a mountain, and then they
Right.
realized it was actually a pyramid that had been built.
Neat.
But the base is way bigger. It's 4 times the size. Like it takes up 4 times the ground space as the largest pyramid of Giza, but it's not as tall.
By the way, did I
There you go.
slander Japan before, or did you find anything about that?
Oh, no, I just found it about Syria, and then we got distracted by that.
I think that may have been pure slander. It was the Bosnian pyramids is what I was thinking of. They're in Bosnia. Is that that's not even Europe, is it? Is it Europe? It's confusing right in that middle area over there. Not sure what's what.
Yeah, it's
that's Europe.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what else is it going to be? Asia? No.
They also found a pyramid on the moon.
Oh, really?
Pyramid on the moon.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see,
Why don't you
NASA
smoke another spliff there, Stony? Pyramids on the moon, bro. There was totally
It's not our moon. It's
there was totally an
Ceres.
ancient civilization there. But see, they didn't learn that nuclear energy shouldn't be used on your own planet, especially not for weapons, and they extincted themselves. You can just tell. Just look at the craters. I didn't go to college.
so it's a moon of Mars, and we just had a satellite or some kind of photography thing enter the atmosphere or the orbit around Mars. And we
Yeah.
got good close-up photos of one of Mars's moons, and NASA has stated that this appears to be a pyramid on the surface.
NASA said that?
But like it doesn't look like, yeah.
That doesn't sound like them.
And also the photos include bright spots, which is what they think may be some sort of protrusion.
The fuck does that mean?
But they
Andrea?
said that
I
scientists
see.
haven't been able to figure out what the bright spots are or where they come from.
Sure, like it's light reflecting off something up higher or something.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And they think that there's some sort of reflective material, like a highly reflective material that's just like part of the planet, but they don't know enough about it to know anything about it, and it's super weird.
That's weird.
Oh, and also they think that it might be salt deposits, just like big giant piles of salt.
Yum.
Stupid.
They could also be. They could also be volcanoes, geysers, or ice, or perhaps just giant rocks. Nobody knows. Do any of those sound delicious?
Oh, ice.
But they always they always or they never, I should say. That's the other one. They never they never usually come right out and say, hey, well, it looks like we may have found something. The space program is changing before our eyes, Andrea. I mean, it's really comes a long way from the days of hundreds of scientists just gathered in a headquarters just doing the calculations to try to figure out if it was even possible to get past the Van Allen belt and problems like this, and take people from their safe environment here on the Earth, this biosphere that's life sustaining and wonderful to us, and take them out into the harsh, cold vacuum of space. And all of that history now, as NASA is reforming and the regimes are changing, is just being lost in the sands of time. Andrea, take it away.
Wait, I have a question about the pyramid on Ceres.
Yeah.
Is there
Wait, why do I do
picture?
that? Why do I do that Sands of Time thing? How did that even start?
I don't know, because you just do things.
Oh, okay. I thought that had a thing. Anyways, Katie, go ahead.
What's supposed to be it? I'm
These,
just asking if there's a picture here.
We're looking at these bright spots.
Okay, the bright spots are what is supposed to be a pyramid then, right?
Yeah.
Well, can't they get a closer up view?
They're in fucking space. What do you want?
Yeah, this is insane.
Cameras don't work in space. We've already established this. The fucking cameras are always so like stupid and blurry.
Have you
up on
ever
the...
seen videos from the space station?
Yeah, we spent
why?
$65 billion to build this thing, and we only had money left for GoPros. That's all we could afford. Sorry, bro.
No, they sent them with a disposable camera.
Yeah. One of the most intense and dramatic moments on this radio show was an argument over whether or not a photo of Mars contained a coffin.
Yeah, that's true.
Ooh.
That turned into like an hour-long argument. That is true. The coffin on Mars. This is a stupid show.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
just stop.
See, it wasn't it wasn't really about the coffin. It was more that I didn't really like how he was treating the segment. That's what started it. And then we ended up being in a really just bitter fight on the show. What is that called? I think it's called radio hosts something about radio hosts huge argument, coffin on Mars. You can find it.
Yeah, it's there.
What were you about to say, young Andrea?
We got a message from a listener saying that they can't call her. Our phone's working?
I have it open right here. Yeah. 630-599-7827. Who is it?
599 Rubs.
Yeah, 630-599-RUBS. We'll decide!
It's our dad.
That's always him.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
So that's it for pyramids, I think. Do we have I feel like there was one more this week.
Well, it's not actually the older than all the pyramids in Egypt. This article points out the pyramid of Djoser in Saqqara, Egypt, was built about 1,000 years earlier, between 2,667 and 2,648 before Christ. The Great Pyramid of Giza was built around 100 years later, making it older than this new Kazakhstan pyramid, as though Kazakhstan would suddenly contribute something of significance to the world. Psh, yeah, right.
Trying to get themselves on the map.
Yeah. Kazakhstan, retreat into the mediocrity which must have grown so comfortable to you over these long eons. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you remember a few months ago, or maybe longer, we talked about the world's weirdest book, and it's just a super old book written in code that nobody has been able to crack for like 600 years?
Yeah. I only have a long-term memory that goes back 3.5 weeks from present time, precisely. Okay. So no.
There is it's been called the world's most mysterious book. Voynich manuscript. It was written in the 15th century, and it's in a coded language that no one has ever decoded.
Yeah,
there
they
are
haven't
photos
let
of it here, and it's got like
they haven't let me take a crack at it though, have they? You know?
Yeah. Well, you're about to get your chance, because for the first time ever, it's being printed and going into circulation as a book that anybody can get their hands on.
You know, they ought to give it to one of them Navajos. They got some kind of crazy code type of language. They could probably figure it out lickety split.
One of them Navajos.
How do they know it's not just gibberish?
That could be.
I guess they don't.
That would be the greatest joke of all time if it was.
Yeah.
But how would you ever find out?
Well, the legend is that a wizard wrote it.
Nice.
Let's see, Roger Bacon, the wizard.
What? Is this in the Evernote?
Yeah. For centuries, it was believed to have been written by a 13th century English Franciscan friar and wizard Roger Bacon, who was so wrapped up in alchemy and magic, he ended up in jail.
He ended up in jail?
Magic landed? I don't know if that's what they meant to write.
Okay.
Probably not.
So when did
But it turns out, that was just a rumor because based on carbon dating, the book was written between 1404 and 1438.
Yeah, I was going to say, this says it was written in the 1400s.
Yo.
And what's going on now? They're releasing it for people. It's being published.
Yeah, it's being. Let's see. They said they printed. Thus far, it's been printed. 900 copies are in circulation.
It's fucking cool looking. Whenever you see a book from more than 100, 150 years ago, they always have this very like. It's like every. I know it's not, but it has this look of like every page was painstakingly done in hand. By hand, in hand.
Right.
And it has these just, I don't know, they just have like such a kind of intriguing, mysterious look to it. It's like, could be the simplest book of all. Like, here's a gardening book from 1470. You're like, what is this mystical path I'm about to go down?
Yeah. Clearly it's magic.
Oh my goodness.
Must have been written by a wizard.
But yeah, like all these old books have
here's-
this very, very creepy, cool look to them. Go ahead.
Reed Johnson of NPR has had
Jew
his hands on it.
Sorry.
Has had his hands on it for about 3 years, and has actually written a book about this book. The drawings often have labels which would seem to offer a route to deciphering the code, but that hope has proved to be an illusion. He said, trying to decipher the code is like trying to climb a wall, but realizing the easy handholds are actually just painted on, so you can never get a grip on it. And he said he's been working with it for 3 years, and that's how he feels about
They
it.
decode the book, and it's just like a chronicle of all the people he's seen masturbating publicly. That's just the whole thing. Like, I was disgusted as I passed under the aquifer this morning. There was a man relieving himself of his demonic fluids. Like I thought everything was a demon back then. There was a there was a shark attack in New York City. Like it was, I don't know, like in like the 1600s, and it was whatever where New York is now, and one of the rivers that goes through the city. I don't really know how that city works. Never been there. Seen it in a lot of movies and things. I don't know much about it though. It's kind of mysterious to me. But this there's a reported shark attack from the 1600s, and they figure it's a shark attack now. But the way it was recorded at the time was that a man was drunkenly swimming across the river, like close to the ocean, and a devil came out of the depths, the murky depths, and engulfed him in its jaws and took him under. But modern people figure that was a shark attack. And everything was a devil or a demon back then. That's just how you explain everything.
And even if you know it was a shark, it was a demon in it that did the horrible thing.
Yeah.
Right. All right, what else is going down, Andrea? Oh, maybe those Navajos could get on cracking this code a little faster if they weren't all fucking around protesting that pipeline. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying? For real.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what you're saying because nobody is talking about this.
Yeah, I know. Nobody is, but
What are you talking about?
here's the thing. They're calling it protests. They're trying, what is it called? The Dakota pipeline?
DAPL.
DAPL.
Pipeline.
Yes. Okay. Dakota Access Pipeline or whatever. And it's supposed to go from Minnesota to Illinois. And the issue is, a lot of the native peoples are worried, and probably with good reason, that this is going to result in contamination of some of their sacred waters and things like this. And that'll also produce increased railway traffic and all kinds of shit that really fucks up their sacred land. So now what I noticed, though, none of the native peoples, what are they going by these days? Indigenous, maybe? None of the indigenous peoples, or I don't know who.
Native, I think, is what they go by.
Yeah. They're not calling...
Aboriginal.
No, they're not
Savage.
aboriginals.
Yeah.
See, why did I even open this up? Yeah. They're not calling it a protest that I've seen. The media and the white people, to frame it in something they understand, are saying, oh, it's a protest that's getting out of hand. And from the videos I've been watching of speakers, and I want to say there was a Navajo prevalence there. That's why I kind of segued into this, because I think the couple people were Navajos that I was listening to. But they weren't talking about protesting. They were talking about making a stand and openly calling for what they called young warriors to come here and take action and do whatever needs to be done to physically stop this from happening. So they weren't really talking protest shit. They were talking do shit.
Yeah. They're probably fucking tired of getting fucked around. It's right outside a Sioux reservation, so they were probably Sioux Indians.
I think people are coming from all over the country now. I just, for whatever
I'm
reason,
sure
I thought these people were Navajo that I was listening to, because somebody said something about that in it, and maybe only one of them was. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But there are now reports that things have turned violent.
Yeah, but
that's...
the spokespeople within the native community are saying that that's all bullshit. That there hasn't been any shit going down yet at all.
Even though they called for action?
Yeah. No, they're calling for to get there. Remember how the Oregon people,
yeah.
And this is another interesting thing. When I was clicking around looking at some of the coverage of this, who do you think shows up completely in support of the Native Americans, which is fine. But, who do you think, Andrea, is top of the list on YouTube saying, well, protest and the First Amendment is a very important right that everybody needs to have so we can hash things out properly in this country and blah, blah, blah. Who do you think? Just who do you think?
Young Turks.
Yes, you got it. Of course, they're all on board for this, no matter what. Fucking assholes. I hate the fucking Young Turks when they were just blindly demonizing the Oregon militia protesters with no facts. They were just making things up. Remember? Anyways, whatever.
Just talking about their Sioux.
Yeah.
These terrorists are terrorizing our country.
Who are the Young Turks?
Oh, God. Are you serious?
Terrible.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just forget about it.
No, it's not.
But
it's terrible.
But yeah, so this really isn't getting any coverage at all. It's interesting stuff. They are the people that I was listening to were basically saying, look, this is part of a treaty we've had for a long time. Nobody's supposed to be able to build in these areas and come through this, and the oil company is saying, look, it's actually, a way better option for the environment than other things, and blah, blah, blah. And, we're going to be building this underground, and we're willing to keep it completely out of sight on your land, and you won't even know it's there. And they're like, no, it's fucking bullshit. Well,
and it doesn't matter. They're less concerned about. I mean, I'm sure the environment plays a large factor. They're also concerned about the fact that the construction of this has already disrupted sacred burial sites on private land that belonged to them and their reservation, and they just started building and disturbing stuff without even considering what they were doing.
Well,
or even hey, we think we want to build here. Is there anything sacred that maybe we should work around?
But why are the Indians surprised?
Katie,
now?
I'm surprised at you.
Katie, Aborigines.
Jesus.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Why are the savages shocked now?
Oh my God. Look who just became a shock jock. Put a mic in front of her for 20 minutes. Now she's Steve fucking Dahl.
I'm just kidding. It's David Vox said savages earlier, so
okay, good. Yeah, no, dude.
Copying him.
What is your question? Fuck was this?
No, nothing. Nothing. I have no question.
Why are they surprised?
No,
Yeah.
Well, here's what I was.
Why is anyone surprised when?
They're lucky to-
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that they're lucky to have the internet because they never, before the internet, they never would have been able to get together on a larger scale like that.
Yeah.
And really exchange information and a plight and, appeal for help and get it on such a large scale.
Right.
If
yeah.
they didn't have the internet.
Try being Sitting Bull and fucking tweeting out smoke signals while Custer is, No, I think I got that all wrong.
Little Bighorn.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Because they won that one, so I should have gone with one where they lost. Whatever.
Like any of the other ones.
Right. That's I picked the only one where the government lost. Whatever.
Train wreck.
It is weird, dude. We just grow up knowing that there's this people that are, whoever, the Native Americans. They were honestly just called Indians until 5-10 years ago, I guess. And then it was Native Americans, or maybe that was kind of starting when we were a kid, whatever. So there was just always this other group of people, and like they have treaties, like they have reservations that aren't really part of our country. You know what I mean? And we have just worked them into this completely not being included deal of just like, yeah, we've taken everything, and you're also not really part of our country. Not that they want to be, but it's just strange. Like, what? It's just it's such an awkward fucking thing that we have here. Just this fucking, just slowly, just this slow genocide that just keeps going on and on and on. It just when you actually step back and look at it, it's just very uncomfortable, isn't it?
It's well, and it's the more you think about it, the more uncomfortable it gets too.
They're just
because I realize how little I know.
They're just these other. You're not even Americans. You're something else. You're the native peoples.
Yeah.
You're over here, and then we're gonna culturally hold all of the parts of your culture in this like grand reverence, and everybody, the mystic, wise Native American. What a patronizing pile of shit this place is. Just and kill us all, and then make like statues and fucking and name things after us. How many fucking towns are named after Native American words and tribes? Jesus Christ, it's significant percentage of towns and cities in this country. You drive around the country, it's a lot of it, especially in the Midwest, and almost every state, like what, and we just take and it's like, oh God, we respect and revere your peaceful culture so much. Just fucking sign this again really quick. And highest fucking there's a weird reservation up in like North Dakota or something. I want to say it's the Lakota tribe. I was reading a while back. They have the lowest life expectancy of anywhere in the Western Hemisphere except for Haiti. So Haiti's got them beat by a little, but that's in the United States. I mean, tell me they're not still being systematically exterminated. I'm pretty sure they are. Pretty.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Well, and not only that. Okay, so U.S. history professor Mari Wiseman of Cal State Sacramento University recently told one of his Native American students that there was never a genocide against the indigenous population of North America. And when she said, yes, there was, he kicked her out of the class and then had her expelled from the school.
What?
Well, hey,
look, he's
he's a guy that knows what he thinks. What he thinks.
Oh, I'm sorry, expelled from the class.
Yeah, he's just standing up for what he believes. That's all that is.
Yep.
See, you kids aren't used to confrontation. Everybody's so passive aggressive and ineffectual in their communication these days. You don't understand a real leader actually taking action on an issue.
Oh, he has that right as an American citizen,
Does he?
and
Does he?
the student, does not, because she's just one of those native peoples.
Yeah, I don't know. I have
Not really part of this country.
I have the phones open and ready, by the way, Andrea. So I don't know what the fuck is going on.
All right, well.
599-7827.
Rubs.
Yeah.
Furthermore, this girl, the guy said this on a Wednesday, and she wrote it down and took time while she was away from class to like do research and have specific instances to bring up when she talked to him about it. And when she tried to bring it up in class,
Did we not pay our phone bill? Maybe. I think that might be what's going on.
Oh,
Yeah, because
you have to pay a phone bill.
yeah, we pay that. We pay like $50 a year to have the Skype where.
Your call cannot be completed as dialed.
Yeah,
Please check the number and dial again.
Oh, no.
0618.
that's what I get when I'm calling it.
Well, we don't have phones, I guess.
Fuck, we gotta figure that out, because, yeah, I think it's like $50 a year to be able to take calls from regular phones on Skype. Remember, that was the
That's
issue.
bullshit.
Yeah. Well, sorry everybody. No cost.
They should give it to us for free, or we're not paying.
That was funny.
I read a thing today that a substitute teacher wrote, or a part-time teacher, about how anytime they go to a new class,
Yeah.
they ask who was the man who discovered America, and everyone always says Christopher Columbus. And then he asks,
Amerigo Vespucci.
who didn't discover America? He just drew the map.
Okay.
And then he would ask what was the name of the people who were here that were the first people that Christopher Columbus met. And they would always be like, oh, Native Americans or Indians or whatever, but nobody ever knew the name of the tribe. Do you guys know the name of the tribe?
Well,
First tribe that Christopher-
I was under the impression that he never made it to the mainland.
Did he just make it to the West Indies?
That's what I thought. No, not the West Indies. That's what he thought he was going.
I mean, yeah, sorry, the Caribbean.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they had native people there, though. Those were the people who he said these are the Indians.
Okay. Right. We
And
know
that's-
No, what's the name of the tribe?
Tainos.
Tainos. Never heard of them.
Tainos. Right? Neither had I. When I saw that, I didn't think it was true. But they're like the.
Well, they don't tell you stuff like
the
that because if you
Bahamas.
Google, I bet if you Google what happened to them, I bet they were completely wiped out in 10 years after he met them. That was Columbus's whole deal, was just like, devastating entire island cultures and basically races of people, just completely just wiped out. Yeah, that was his thing.
What?
There was like a fucking doctor that was rolling with Columbus for a while, who kept a secret log, which somehow survived over time, and I think you can see pictures of it and stuff, but the transcripts from it were about like all the evil shit that Columbus and his men were into. Like they would, like when they would just like be conquering some tiny place, they would have these long swords and they'd have competitions to see who could slice a person in half with one like swing of their sword. That was like a thing they just did for fun.
Jesus.
Yeah. Just while they're hanging out, like after lunch. Some people would take
God.
naps. Other people would chop human beings in half for fun. That was Columbus. Yeah, he was dude.
Those were the days.
A lot of people know a lot about Columbus. We don't have to harp on and on about it, but he was a very fucking evil guy.
Okay, here's what I want to know though.
Okay, what do you want to know?
So Dave has these nephews that are starting to get to an age where they begin to question things. We talked about one of the younger ones was talking about the Illuminati not too long ago.
Got some nephews there, Dave? Got
we were talking about.
Got yourself some nephews, huh? Huh, Davey boy?
Yes.
Is he asleep already?
Yeah.
Dude, what a piece of shit.
Drink water. I don't understand how this happened.
Because he laid down in a bed to do the show.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. He just doesn't give a fuck about the show. We got to get somebody else. He just does not care whatsoever. Right?
He's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were talking about how the freshman class of high school this year will be the first class learning about 9/11 as something that happened before they were born.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So what? Who cares?
So we were talking about like when do you start telling people start telling kids what you know versus what they're supposed to learn, quote unquote.
Right away, dude. There's
wait.
Immediately.
Dave said you should wait. I was like, no way, dude. Like, why? Why let them learn the wrong thing? And then we started talking about why the fuck do they still teach that Christopher Columbus discovered America? It's nothing about it is true. Wasn't the first person.
The absolutely mindless fucking argument I've heard is like, no, kids need to have their heroes and their nice stories. I'm like, as though there aren't heroes and nice stories somewhere else.
Yeah, you had to have one up because there's not any.
First of all, the guy's fucking Italian, right? And he's working for Spain. What the fuck does it have to do with us? It's not even anything to be like proud of, if you live here. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. And he didn't even find this place. And then when he got over here, all he did were horrible things.
And he had halitosis.
Yeah, and his feet smelled.
Yeah. Ringworm.
Yeah,
Scurvy. Bunch of shit. And rickets.
I just can't even fathom sending my children to school. Like when I have kids, I just can't even imagine sending them to school.
No, you still remember the feeling of just being like imprisoned there and feeling how like I'm not even learning anything. My teachers are fucking idiots. Everybody here is just so strange. I look back at like the school now. Can you imagine treating kids the way that like some people would treat us when we were kids? Like being like when there's like a disciplinarian and they're like actually mad that you like fucked around. And they take some weird perverse satisfaction in punishing you. Those people are not fucking right, dude. They're creeps. Can you imagine as an adult, like, bossing a bunch of kids around? Like, what the fuck is that?
No way. No way.
It looks like you've got a bit of marijuana. Can you imagine? They weren't very much older than us. A lot of them, marijuana in your pocket? Come with me. We're taking you to the police. And they're gonna arrest you, and you're like, what? Jesus.
I'm a kid.
Yeah. Did you
dork?
Did you joke around? One time I got in trouble for pretending to be a robot and refusing to stop. Like, really? And then they're like yelling at me in an office, like, I gotta take this seriously. And I'm just like, dude, you guys are the fucking weird ones, honestly.
No, I don't.
Yeah, no, I don't. Why, one day, sir, I'll do a talk show on YouTube that gets upwards of 72 views. You'll see. I'll prove you wrong.
You'll all see.
You'll all see. We'll show them. That's right.
He said I'd only get 70 views.
72. Going through the roof here on the Overdose Talk Show. Andrea, we're headed to a break, so stop whatever inane, banal, just putrid little attempt at conversation that you were about to spew forth into the pathetic ether that is this talk show. Taking a break. Back in a minute. Alright, well, I'll be gall-derned if we're not back on the Overdose Talk Show. You guys here?
Hello.
Andrea and Katie, my two sisters, joining me on Skype.
Yellow.
It's funny, when I started this show, I would have never, ever pictured doing a show with the two of you morons. Ever. I wanted to be some kind of like Art Bell type of thing, I think, when I first started. which I quickly figured out that I just did not have that kind of personality at all. You know, it was just I don't know. I was just always swearing and making mistakes and shit. You know, I should probably change the direction of this shit and start including some other people. Hey.
And look at you now.
Look at this. Look at what we've built. The band, they're not a band. The hip hop group Gyroscope shared our video telling people that we're live. So thanks to them. Check out Gyroscope with a J, Jyroscope for new lyrical intelligent hip hop that comes out semi regularly. Those guys are always putting something out. It's two guys that rap and a DJ, and they're all involved in a bunch of other shit, you know. So they put stuff out when they've got the time. So check them out. Thanks for the share, boys.
Those guys are good.
Yeah, they
Is
dope.
No, this is not them. Never mind.
Whoops.
Would have been lucky. I thought I get some of the beats confused sometimes. All the wonderful artists that I know. I do. Thought that might have been them, but then I remembered it's not. Anybody gonna save me here?
All right.
All those hip hop beats.
Should I just say it? Say it in more weird ways.
Yeah, keep going. You got it.
So confused. I don't know. I thought it was one thing and it was a different thing, and it wasn't the thing that I wanted for it to be.
Okay.
What?
Did you know that it's possible to get a sunburn on your eyeballs?
Is it?
So the legend goes.
That's not true.
Let me tell you a tale, my friends.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it's true.
On your eyeballs?
Actually, yeah. Well, yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
You can tattoo your eyeballs. I know that. That's cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. Now
That's not cool.
What are you talking about? Your sunburned eyeballs?
Well, okay, here's what happened. We went to
what happened?
we went camping.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to tell you about
Right.
we went camping a couple weeks ago,
Yes.
and it was canoe camping. And
Oh boy.
when we got home, boy, I tell you, did I have a sunburn. So I go to the doctor because my face was swollen. My eyes were swollen. I looked like what are those dogs that have skin over their eyes?
You look like a caveman.
I looked like a Shar-Pei, and my forehead was so swollen that it made me look like a caveman. My eyebrows like hung way down over my eyes. My nose was like twice the size of my normal nose.
Why? Because your face was so
It's like-
burned that it was literally swelling up?
Yeah, my whole face swole to twice its normal size. I have pictures. I'll send them to you later.
Wait a second. No. You need to give a picture to Andrea right now to put up on our Facebook page. The Overdose Talk Show.
I'm not doing
The Overdose Talk Show on Facebook. Yes, dude, we're talking about it. You have to. You have to send me a picture of you looking normal and you with your swollen caveman face. And I'll put it together as a side-by-side for our listeners to check it out. Come on.
All right, I'll do that.
Come on, be a
Okay.
sport.
But anyway, yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Okay, so if you're listening to this later, which you probably are, because odds are you're not listening now, going by the numbers here on UStream. But if you're listening later, go to the Overdose Talk Show on Facebook, check out the recent post to see this picture of this monstrosity that we call a sister. With her swollen, burned face. With her face, she went through a brief Rocky Dennis phase this week, I guess.
Okay, so I go to the doctor because I woke up and I was like, this is unreal. It was like 3 days after the sunburn started and it just kept getting worse. And I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. I go to the doctor. I'm like, man, I don't know what is happening here, but this is the most horrible thing. And she goes, well, She's looking at my eyes and she's like, I think you have a sunburn on your eyeballs.
What the fuck?
And I was like,
The swelling around her eyes was like squinching her eyes shut.
no
yeah.
shit. That's hilarious.
Did you get the picture? I just sent it to you.
Hold on, let me look.
And yeah, it was like squinching my eyes closed. And did you get it?
Hold on.
So she's like, yeah, it's very possible that you got sunburned on your eyeballs. And I was like, that is the most horrific thing anybody has ever said to me. I don't even know, like, what do I do? Where do I go from here? She's like, there's nothing I can do for you.
You just squeeze aloe
Around
into
your-
your eyes.
Yeah. You know, she gave me some drops. It did seem to help, but I was like a horrific monster. I've never known that a sunburn could swell up that bad.
Dude, you look like
You know?
you look like one of those people that gets their face eaten by a chimp and then they get it like reconstructed with like their thigh skin or something, you know? Just have like a strange reconstructed face look going on in this picture. You look like the fucking the guy that tries to feed Hannibal to the pigs and then Hannibal feeds him into the pigs. You know what I'm talking about? His face is made of like a rugby ball and shit. You remember that movie?
No.
No?
But it sounds hilarious.
Neither
No,
of
I
you
don't
have seen
remember that.
it's like the second or third Silence of the Lambs movie? No? You have no
Oh,
idea
I
what I'm
only
talking
ever
about?
saw the first one.
God, you guys suck.
No, I saw the one where he made Ray Liotta eat his own brain.
Yeah, that's the same one.
No? Oh, well, I don't remember that part.
Yeah, and he's all right, whatever.
All right, well,
you look like
she doesn't
shit,
usually-
okay? That's the point here.
Yeah, so anyway, so yeah, the sunburn on your eyeballs is probably the
but
most
you were
horrible
wearing.
thing.
Here's what the best part is that she was wearing big giant sunglasses the whole time, and even had like a tan line or a burn line, like a raccoon on her face. At first, that went away though. It kind of evened out, I guess.
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
But her eyes got sunburned even through the sunglasses.
Fucking sunburn on your eyeballs. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Did they peel?
Ew, no. But they have been kind of dry though, so maybe they are peeling and I just don't know it.
When the
Yeah,
doctor
you just don't.
when the doctor said that, you should have just started screaming horrifically and just attacked her savagely and start clawing her face. Take it back, bitch! You go completely insane. Start taking things out of the
Yeah.
drawers. Like, open wide. Fucking shoving things down her
Well,
throat.
we were out on the river we were on was basically a giant long lake with a current. I mean, it was
Yeah.
50 feet wide most of the way, right?
You know,
At least.
At least,
Andrea
yeah.
just said the river we were on was basically like a giant long lake with a current. That's what every river is, you fucking retard.
No, I mean it was
Name
just
me
like
one. Hold on.
it was big.
Name me one. Name me one river that isn't a long, skinny lake with a current. Name me one river that doesn't apply to.
Well, sometimes they're more they're rougher. I mean, there was just a
there's
smooth
a lot of those-
reflective surface one time. That's all I meant.
There's a lot of those triangle-shaped rivers. A lot of fucking.
No, but like the Colorado River that carved the Grand Canyon is very rocky, and you have it's a white water. You know,
I'm sure it
that's
is.
not a lake.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I've never
No,
seen
it's
it.
just a lake with a faster current.
Yeah. It's like
Skinnier.
you wouldn't believe this
Yeah.
fucking river. I mean, picture a lake, but really long and skinny. I mean, all the same stuff as a lake. You know, water, fish, rocks at the bottom, some mud. And you float on it, same as a lake, but it's real long and skinny like. And get this. The water's moving at a certain speed in one direction. Now that's what this river was like.
with all the water moving at the same time.
But that's just what that one was like. Just in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why
Uncanny.
my eyeballs got sunburned, because of the lake.
Right, the lake effect.
The lake-like river.
Yeah, well, sometimes they say you get that water reflecting the light. You get the sun reflecting off the water, I should say, and it supposedly makes it worse. I wouldn't know because I don't venture into natural bodies of water too often. I would say it happens probably on average once every 5 or 6 years for me, where like I'm just somewhere where like I'm an asshole if I don't go into it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not going to just, okay, fine. Because then everyone, when you don't, because I've done that before too, been out at a lake with a bunch of people and everybody's swimming, and I'm just like, I'm just going to smoke weed on the boat. I'm like, I don't want to, I don't like lakes, and it's weird. I don't want to be a statistic, and get dragged under by...
A fish might touch me.
Yeah, I don't want to be a statistic in terms of being stung by a catfish or something, and I'd just rather not put myself in that position. And you can get a leech. I don't know what could happen in there. Sometimes I get, I have like irrational fears of water too, where I'm like, in the ocean it's always sharks, but if it's in a small lake, like in the middle of the woods in Michigan, like this time I'm thinking of, I'm really thinking about what if there is some strange sea monster in here that's been in here for, thousands and thousands of years. I don't want to be the fucking one that gets chomped up by its brontosaurus teeth, all slowly, the slow bone grinding gnash of a brontosaurus. that was a jam band album that I did a few years back. The slow grinding gnash of the brontosaurus.
It is huge.
No, but I didn't want to go in the lake.
I'd be more afraid of like a horrible bacteria that's been isolated in that lake for
whatever it is.
years.
What do you need to go in there? There's clean water coming out of fucking tubes and pipes and shit all over the place up in the house. Electricity. Yeah, there's tubes full of water up there. Clean.
Got my water tubes, man.
Yeah. I got the water tubes back at the house, broski. I'm all set.
I'm just chilling on the boat, smoke some weed.
No, I was. And then all that happens is the whole time, why aren't you going in the water? Vinny, go in the water. What is going to happen? I'm going to get in the water, and then suddenly this lake is going to be really fucking fun for some reason. Have me swimming around 6 feet next to you is going to make you swimming that much better. The fuck do you want from me? But that's all people will do. If you try not to get in the water, it's just constant harassment. Get in the water. Why don't you get in the water? Because it's fucking disgusting in there. What? It's not a fucking hotel swimming pool. It's a disgusting pit of mud and liquid and life forms just rotting in the sun in the middle of the woods.
Mysterious fluids.
And by the way,
can't see the bottom.
We're in Michigan. Nothing's nice here. We've all been drunk since 10 in the morning. Who gives a shit? Leave me alone. Yeah,
I guess I can see your point.
Anyways. I don't fucking go in there. Fuck that shit.
And also, when everyone gets eaten by sharks, you're going to look like the only smart one.
Dude, I'm telling you. I mentioned the one.
Sorry.
That's one freshwater shark attack from the 1600s up there in New York City. And there's another. People don't realize this. I know for those that do, it's kind of, this is kind of annoying to hear over and over. But there was the one in Chicago in 1955. Where at the time they were basically like, we don't know what did this, and somebody thought it was, what's like
a demon.
No, in 1955, that was the demons were all
a black guy.
Yeah, the demons were all for the blacks and the gays by the 50s.
Yeah.
But what's a large fish in the it's like a grouper maybe, whatever. They said something.
Grouper. Yeah, they're big.
Yeah. So they tried to say that, but then people have looked at the photographs later on and gone, that's clearly like a bull shark, So that one happened. Somebody got their leg bit off swimming right on the beach outside of Chicago, and then they've caught him in Alton, Illinois, Andrea, I believe in the 30s, and then in 1915 there was a young child killed and eaten by a shark in a river in Georgia, like in the middle of rural Georgia. Yeah, man.
You've got sharks by you in the Mississippi.
Dude, there's sharks all over. I was reading on the tourism or like fishing and game the thing. Let me see if I can find this. It was in Whiting, Indiana. There was a bunch of people talking about how they were worried that sharks might be like spawning in the fresh water, that they're seeing like clusters of a few sharks at a time and stuff, whereas it used to be like in the Great Lakes. I think it was always people who were on boats constantly maybe had seen one or two in their life, you know, like there's a shark that turns up every once in a while in fresh water. Okay, but they're saying this is becoming an issue, like there's more and more and they might be actually breeding here. But what people were saying on this forum was that the local like tourism board doesn't want anyone to know because they rely so heavily on, you know, like Mexicans and poor Polish people and shit coming to swim at their fucking shit beaches every summer. Spend money on like, we need people to come here and buy snow cones and fucking suntan lotion. We can't tell them.
We'll never make it.
We can't tell them. Like it was like the plot of Jaws. I remember thinking. Let me see if I can find this. Whiting, Indiana. But yeah, go ahead on something else for a second. Let's see if I can find this.
No, I'm kind of glad that sharks are taking over freshwater.
Why?
Why?
Because sharks are awesome and they deserve to live wherever they want. They're at the top of the food chain.
They're so much closer to you now.
I hope I see one.
Next thing we know, they'll sprout legs and walk out to the suburbs. Is that what you want?
Kinda.
Sharks home?
Well, what are they going to do there? Depends on what they want.
Mug you. Sharks have been on the planet longer than trees.
Yeah, they deserve to do whatever the fuck they
Trees
want.
go wherever they want.
Yeah, nobody's fucking saying jack about that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's debatable.
I can't find this thing that I was. Whatever. It's gonna take me too long to find right now. But yeah, whatever. I was reading that a couple years ago. Anyways,
No, we should be embracing the freshwater sharks.
We should be
feeding them by hand.
Yeah, just
I'm gonna
training. If we could only train them to do our bidding. I was watching Jaws 3 yesterday, and there was a part because you know they're at SeaWorld in Jaws 3, and Jaws like gets into the SeaWorld enclosure, and now he's gonna really fuck shit up. You know, because at the beginning of the movie the dolphins are acting weird, and they keep making cryptic references. You know, Sandy and Mandy or whatever the fuck the dolphins' names were. They're really acting strange the past couple days. They're just crazy dolphins. It's just a phase. All right. Well,
yeah, you know how dolphins are.
The dolphins are like
Fickle.
banging their noses at the gate, like trying to get out. They're like, "Why do the dolphins want to leave? They have a great life here." And then when shit starts, because then they're always like, they're always going around in like submarines in this little, you know, in the SeaWorld, like it's like the natural ocean water is let in there, but they're in an enclosure, so there's supposedly there's no sharks in there, and they're just going around without a care in the world. And then Jaws shows up, and but lucky for them, the divers down there, when Jaws first shows up, these dolphins, it's something like Mandy and Sandy, I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was something just like that. And so Mandy and Sandy, the fucking dolphins, come. And they're all about, you know, we're going to save these people. And then they're doing shit like the shark is like swimming right at the diver. And the dolphin like swims by and they just grab the dolphin's fin and just jet him out of there. Whoa, here we go. Because a dolphin dragging a human is definitely way faster than a 16-foot great white shark, I'm sure.
Duh.
Yeah, and you know, the dolphins play, of course, this really heroic role the whole time, and then Jaws is doing shit like ramming the tunnel where there's people walking in the underground tunnel. He's like ramming it. I'm gonna fucking get these
Let
fuckers.
me at 'em.
Yeah, because well, the Jaws' whole thing.
Put up your jokes.
He's rolling up the skin on his fins.
Why I oughta come say it to my face.
So Jaws, the whole thing with Jaws is that he's got a thing against the Brodies, okay? Now, if you remember in the first movie, Sheriff Brody, you know, he takes Jaws out because they put the oxygen tank in his mouth and he smile, you son of a bitch. And only when we would watch it on WGN when we were kids and it would be on TV, it would just be, smile, you son of a... They would cut off the bitch. It would just be the explosion. But so Sheriff Brody killed Jaws, but what they didn't know, their Jaws had a baby, and then, you know, it followed them down in Jaws 2, down to the Caribbean, if you recall. It first kills the one fucking guy. It kills the one son in New York. There's like a harbor police, you know, one of Sheriff Brody's son. And Sheriff Brody, by the way, just dies between movies, and they give it a brief passing reference at the beginning of Jaws 2. And it's like, oh, well, you know, do you remember how your dad died of a heart attack? You know, totally natural dialogue just to explain that why Sheriff Brody isn't there. Like, don't you remember? Like, if that happened in real life, like, yeah, Mom, what are you, sadistic fucking asshole? Of course I remember. What are you talking about? You know,
how little do you think of me?
You remember how your father went into cardiac arrest? Remember, we held his hand and he faded away slowly. You remember? Yes. And so the shark, you know, they're up in New York or wherever in upstate New York somewhere, I think, and the shark, it kills the son, Sheriff Brody's son, because this is Jaws's kid, and now it's after Sheriff Brody's kids, and it knows how to find them somehow. This is never explained. It just knows. It's got shark skills like that. It can sniff it out.
Shark skin.
Yeah, so it kills the one guy, by the way, while he's on a boat. He has no excuse for being killed at the beginning of Jaws 2. The one son, he gets his arm bit off first, and then he's just hanging over the side of the boat, just going, for like 30 seconds. It's right next to the edge of the boat.
Oh, God, my arm.
Oh, my God, I have all
could have done such a thing.
Like in a cheap movie when someone gets their arm cut off, like, oh, my God, I now have a really wide torso and a tattered jacket sleeve. I don't know what's going on here. A bunch of red paint. And then he's right on
squirting out of there.
Yeah, and he's right on the side of the boat, and he's, oh shit, my arm, oh my God, I'm sure that this experience is over, but it's horrible. And then Jaws just bites off like fucking half of the boat and swallows and it drags him down. And then they're all sad for like 2 days, and she's like, it's such an insanely short period of time that they like have the family express grief. And the mom is all, hey, other son, you've got to get rid of your job where you're doing marine research down as a diver collecting snails in the Caribbean with your Caribbean friend who's always joshing with you good-naturedly. And and they're arguing. What? Hold on. They're arguing, and he's like, Mom, everything's safe. Look, by the way, I now live in the Caribbean, and you've got to come down to the Caribbean with me. It's been like 4 days. And he's like, you just got to get your mind off stuff up here. And she's like, I'm sorry, I've been really difficult. And like, your son just died like 4 days ago. What the fuck are you all acting so strange? And then the little girl is there. The guy that lives in the Caribbean, his daughter is just hanging out like, Uncle Sean is dead, right? And they're like, yes. And she's like, is he ever coming back? We'll talk about that later. And she's an idiot little kid that is always like, can we get an ice cream? Yay! And that's like every line she has in the movie. She's just like a dumbass little kid. And so they take her down. Now we take Sheriff Brody's wife, the mom, who just lost her son, and she's fucking convinced that sharks are after the family, by the way. She's telling everybody, that shark came, it targeted him, and it's going to come for you too. and so they convince her everything's fine, and they should all go down to the Caribbean. Now they went fucking 5,000 miles to the Caribbean, and like the next day, the fucking shark shows up, okay? And it's in the Caribbean now. And yeah, and it's going after the son, and it ends up eating his kind-hearted Jamaican friend, his roustabout companion that he pals around with, and he's sad about that for, I'm not shitting you, like 30 seconds, and then it's no longer a part of the movie. And at the end, they kill the shark this time. It's so weird. They put some fucking like electric flashlight in its mouth and start shocking it. And while he's shocking it, they have some contraption rigged up where they're shocking it remotely, and they just keep shocking it, and it's going above the water and roaring like a lion. Like every time they shock the shark, It's like, "Roar," like splashing back down into the water. And then while he's doing it, he's having flashbacks, which he could never have, of his father shooting, when he's in that classic scene when he's going down and he's up on the mast and he's just leaned out over the water and he's smiling, you son of a bitch. He's having flashbacks to that scene. He wasn't fucking there. How's he doing that? And so they're shocking the shark, and then now the mom is driving the ship because they had found the mom who just went out fucking randomly out into the ocean on a boat, saying that it was all she had to do something. She had no plan. She had no way of killing the shark, but conveniently they know a guy with a fucking airplane, so they go fly out over the ocean and find her, and they land the airplane on the water. And the son and the Jamaican swim over to the boat. Meanwhile, the pilot of the fucking airplane is sitting there fucking around. And who comes up out of the water but Jaws himself and takes out the pilot and bites the plane and drags it underwater. And and whatever. Then the pilot turns out to be okay. And he gets back onto the ship. Now they're all together. Then comes the part where the Jamaican dies. But the whole time you're like, what are you fucking doing out here, lady? She's just going, oh, I had to do something. He's after us. So you just drive out in the middle of the ocean. It's a shark. All you have to do is stay out of the ocean. Oh my God, he's after us. I don't know what to do.
Never keep this shark from getting us.
I'm going out in the ocean. I'll draw him out here further. And I don't know. Maybe if I
and then I'll distract him and run off.
Maybe if I draw him far enough away, he'll get lost. And so she's driving the boat. The fucking Jamaican is dead at this point. The pilot's shook up and whatever. She's driving the boat, and they're shocking the shark, and he's going up out of the water doing the MGM lion roar, and then she just rams the front. What's the fucking thing out that sticks out in front of the ship? Is that the mast? And she just rams that into the shark and like impales it while it's like flying up in the air. Because you know how you drive a ship like it's a Jetta, and just fucking just zoom right at something. And then she just takes it out. But then apparently that shark already had a baby, and that shark follows the fucking son, who survives to SeaWorld, and he gets in the gate somehow. This is Jaws 3. And he's biting little submarines, fucking everything up, trying to kill dolphins, ramming tunnels. You know what I mean? And I think I fell asleep before I don't remember how they kill him in Jaws 3. Who cares? What does it matter? It's all nonsense.
Oh my God. I had not seen Jaws 2 or 3.
Well, now you don't need to.
And now I don't need to. Oh, man. Yeah.
Why didn't they make any more of those?
Well, the first one's pretty good.
No, the first one is very...
Oh, from the sounds of it, the second one's pretty good, too.
The first one's good, just that
I
fucking...
enjoyed that rendition of it.
The red-nosed drunk mayor who just won't hear it. Just die, you and your science and your marine biology. No, there's a large shark biting chunks out of people, killing them, and their bodies are washing up on the shore. So those are humans that are being murdered by a shark on our beach constantly. It's happened like 3 times this week. Why don't you get some proof and come back to me? I'm not shutting down these beaches. Do you know what kind of a loss of income that would be for Amity? Where were they on? Or was the island they were on? Fuck. Was it Amity or something? I don't remember.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
Whatever it was. And yeah. I mean, and then Richard Dreyfuss just shows up just to be, this is what I do. This is my life. I'm here to study this shark. And we're gonna go out and we're gonna do something good for science. I don't know why he was there. The whole point, they went out to kill the shark. He developed a grudge, I think, after he got there. But but they just don't want to shut the beaches down, And And then Sheriff Brody is all stressed out on the beach because he knows something is gonna happen, and he's just sitting there looking. Boy, I know this shark is out here, and there's all these kids and these families. What am I gonna do? And that guy comes up and ribs him a little, and he just goes, "That's some bad hat, Harry." That was his big insult to Harry. That's some bad hat. Remember that part?
No.
He really stuck it to Harry. Yeah. And then somebody paints the fucking big fin on the on the billboard, and Richard Dreyfuss is like, strangely, that's not totally inaccurate. That shark could be about that large. And it's like, shut up, Richard Dreyfuss. Nobody knows who you are yet. You and your fucking tight gray sweater. Your fucking awkward wine drinking scene when you come over, and Sheriff Brody pours that like insanely large glass of wine, and they just look at each other and smile like lovers. Like,
Yeah. This will get you in the mood, baby.
yeah.
I'm really in the mood to watch.
Forget all
Jaws
about
right
that
now.
shark.
Oh my God, I've seen it many times. And why do people have to spit in their thing? What when they're going their mask, their eye their eye mask for diving.
Yeah, that is yeah.
Why does it have to be spit? Why can't it just be water? Why can't you wash it? What the fuck does the spit do in there? He spits and he's like, "Oh, I'm nervous. I got no spit." And he fucking spits one of those really gross, frosty, fucking like white dehydrated spits in there. Like, that's a gross scene. That's way grosser than the fucking head he finds down in the boat a few minutes later. Fucking old white rotten head floating around down there. Then he comes up. This is a close call down there, as I recall. And yeah,
This is good radio right here.
Is it?
I'm not sure that it is.
Whatever, dude. Yes, it is. For people who have seen Jaws, it is. And anyways, Richard Dreyfuss. He's so annoying in that movie. He's just so like weirdly.
Yeah,
he's such like a nerd trying to be assertive, and that might have been the point. But it's just kind of uncomfortable the way he plays it. But then you got the other guy. What's his name? Quinn, I think, the fisherman, and he starts talking about the USS Indianapolis going down. 132 of us went into the water. That does that whole story. That guy was great. And if you watch the original, you know how he dies, and when Jaws is just like chomping up the boat one chomp at a time, and he like chomps down on his legs, and you're like, oh my God, can he get away from that? And then he goes a little further and he's like, ah, and he starts like dude, if you watch the original like uncut version of that on the DVD, I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's like so much more brutal than you ever saw on TV. That scene is fucking crazy. When the shark is just eating him like bite by bite, it just goes on for like 10 more seconds than you're used to. And he's like spitting up blood and coughing, like holding onto the shark's nose and just getting eaten all slowly. But that was his destiny. He was like fucking Lieutenant Dan. Was Forrest. I was supposed to die on that field, Forrest. And that was Quinn's fate. He was supposed to die in the ocean, being eaten by a shark. All of my ancestors died in battle for this country, Forrest. Now I came here to meet you and your cancer slut wife that runs around fucking black guys for 20 years and then only wants to shack up with you after she has AIDS.
Okay.
That's what happened. Think about that.
Are we?
No, just think about that. In Forrest Gump, fucking Jenny, fuck that piece of shit, dude. Forrest is like, he's
seriously,
in love with her all his life. He's so sweet. And she touches him once and he just comes right away. Like he loves her so much. And she won't give him the time of day until she already has AIDS. The fuck is that, Jenny?
Jenny.
Oh my God.
What?
Lieutenant Dan.
Nothing. I've just been laughing for like 15 minutes straight. Andrea is currently wiping tears out of her eyes. There's makeup all over her face.
Wiping a bunch of stuff out of my eyes, apparently. Oh boy. All right. Well, where could we possibly go from there?
How did we even get there is the question.
Freshwater sharks.
Oh, yeah.
Check out my aluminum legs, just like on the space station. Would you like to go shrimping with an old stumpy curmudgeon? He starts swimming around in the ocean with no legs. Woo! Stupid ass. I like when that fucking prostitute knocked him out of his wheelchair. Fuck you.
Murderer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Baby killer. What's wrong with you guys?
There's a
Wait, speaking of a guy with no legs, you guys want to talk about that karate guy
Oh my god.
with no legs?
Well, this was David Box. This was
hoping David Box
David
would
Box's
be involved
thing.
in that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
so not really. I mean, it's just a nice group of people trying to go out of their way to donate their time and resources to help some disabled young men and women to feel, included and to have a sense of purpose. And they're teaching disabled people karate, right? Is that basically what's going on here?
That's basically what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, but goddamn, the reason that video is popular is because it's so hilarious. I mean,
Such an inspiration.
Well, I mean, he has no legs and no arms. He's basically just flopping around on the floor. I don't know how he couldn't defend himself using karate.
so this guy,
There's no way.
He's got like a Down syndrome face, right? And then he's got like 4-inch arms, and then he's got like kind of
No, it's just like hands coming out of his shoulders.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even. There's no arms. They're just hands to shoulders.
And then he's got kind of one leg, but it doesn't look like it could really do anything. And then he's
That's
got,
like a half leg with a little tiny foot on it.
yeah, and then he's got like his other leg is like, I don't know, just like it's little ham hock. It's like a little Cornish game hen just stuck on the bottom of his torso there. And he's doing his demonstration. Do you guys have the video up? Because we're obviously
No, we watched it right before this show.
we're 1,000.
Yeah.
Just pull it up. Just take a look
Yeah.
at it real quick. We're 1,000 miles apart from each other. I'm checking it out again. And so this guy's doing his karate routine, and he's just flopping around like a mud skipper. Just like I don't know what exactly. I'm gonna tell you right now, I could beat the fucking piss out of this guy. I'm serious.
Yeah, just
He can't
one
even-
swift kick.
I'll just pick him up by his nose and drop kick him into the wall. See you later. Fucking do your
By his
sh-
nose.
Well, if he came around me trying to show off with his karate like this, I'd put him in his place, knock him down a peg real fast.
Yeah, he'd never even see it coming.
Poor guy. He just does a spinning back kick
David
at
Box
the
was particularly tickled earlier because he has a black belt.
Yeah. But he's just scooting around on his butt. That's not a good way to fight.
Yeah.
He's not doing anything.
No,
he's not. That wouldn't hurt anyone. The things that he's doing.
No.
And I would think that be realistic. Teach this guy how to bite the shit out of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give him a real set of chompers.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe some metal teeth.
Give him whatever the equivalent of brass knuckles for your teeth is. That's what he should have.
A grill. He needs a grill.
Yeah.
But right now, literally, yeah, you could just take off your belt and hang him, and he wouldn't be able to do nothing. You just walk up to him slowly with your belt. Yep, excuse me. Yep, I'm just going to wrap this around here. Yeah, just hold still there, buddy. I know you don't really have a choice. And yank. Just pull him right up off the ground. He starts fucking flipping around and frothing at the mouth. All that karate is really paying off, isn't it, Jeremy? Yeah.
Like how fast you move. Now, in the background of this video, there are people in wheelchairs.
Yeah, no,
There's one young man with a walker.
We're
I don't know where the rest
obviously
of these videos are.
we're being kind of cute about this, but it's a very serious thing.
It's really
I don't
gross.
think anyone would say cute. We're being completely despicable, fucking shitheads. Look at these people. They're so.
No, I think that it's great.
Yeah, no, I mean it's inspiring.
great.
I mean, I honestly, I've never been to one karate class, and I've got a whole fucking. I have the body of an Adonis, just almost a perfect.
A big fat Adonis.
I was an Adonis, 7 years ago, maybe, but I can still
know
get
that
back.
you've ever been.
Yes, I was like a
necessarily.
Greek god with my long flowing locks and my perfectly chiseled abs.
Yeah.
But even with this kind of physical perfection, I've never taken one karate class in my life. So I've been worried lately that I've been worried lately that if I get in like a karate fight, and I don't know why I worry about this, but I've been worried that if I get in a karate fight, that I'll kick someone and my shin will break. You ever seen when the MMA guys like kick another guy's leg and their shin just snaps? Ooh, man, if that can happen to them, of course it could happen to me, right?
Why would you be in a karate fight?
More importantly,
you know what I mean?
Not happen to you?
Maybe I was outside and somebody didn't give me my lighter back fast enough after they use it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was a blatant disrespect.
And it was a Chinese guy.
Yeah. And I just go, here's how when you're going to fight, you start making noises like, wah, and they just get into their stance. Like, they just understand. They just understand what's about to go down. And, now I am really worried that if that happens, that my leg is going to snap. Ugh. Not like to have that.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Weird worry to have.
Is it?
He's got a lot of weird worries.
Yeah, it's so specific.
Yeah, something.
Like, it's not just that you're worried your leg will break. You're worried it'll break during a surprise karate fight.
Right.
You have no way of avoiding.
You know what? A lot of guys are like me. You just run through the scenarios. What if I had to fight somebody on top of a train? And you just think about it a little bit, and just think about what is it, a train is okay. It's rocking back and forth. It's not just moving straight like it looks in the movies. You're going to have to fucking anticipate the shift in weight that's going to be going on constantly. There's going to be a lot of wind. You're also going to have to be checking for, things that are right above you, and you might need to duck.
Lights that could decapitate you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like in Speed.
Pop quiz, asshole. Yeah, when they would show it on TV.
Pop quiz.
Yeah, it was such a bad edit. They would always show that same, and they never fixed it. They showed it like that for years on TV. It was just pop quiz, animal. It's the fucking weirdest TV edit. Because it was supposed to be pop quiz, asshole. Because, that's cool bad guy talk. Pop quiz, asshole. You know how real, like, gangster-ass terrorists call somebody an asshole.
Yeah.
That's not just the things you call your friends and each other all the time. That's some real bad guy shit. Pop quiz, asshole. What do you do? And then he goes, shoot the hostage. What? Shoot the hostage. He shoots his own friend in the thigh. That confuses the captor. That confuses him, and he's got to run out of there and hightail it because he's already blown up one bus and he's got plans for another one. He has to take off and go into his weird tiny suburban home that just has a fucking central command center where he's watching a bunch of TVs and smoking cigarettes, laughing at the news reports, and they're like, and all at the whim of a madman, and he's like, the whim of a madman. I like that. Just sitting there in his fucking lonely ass place by himself. blowing up Mexican ladies for trying to jump off a bus.
I remember that.
So many
You
details.
don't remember the whim of a madman? He repeats it like four times.
I do now, but like only after Vinny already remembered it in great detail for me.
Yeah, but then
Well, the part I'm thinking about in Speed is when they're on top of the train and the guy gets decapitated. That's Speed, right?
Yeah.
Remember when we rented it on VHS and we watched that scene and slowed it down? Like somehow you could do that.
We
on VHS.
had a brand new VCR with a slow motion function that our father was obsessed with.
So we watched him getting decapitated in slow motion.
Oh, like
and
50
it was like
times.
his neck stretched out.
Yeah,
like
just over
5
and
feet
over
long.
and over and over. We watched that movie we probably watched that as a family 24 times.
Easily.
Speed. And then they loop.
It's like the classic.
They know that he's watching. He has a live video feed of the bus because if anyone tries to get off, he's going to blow the whole thing up. By the way, I think this is before they make that miraculous jump where the bus actually jumps. Like it's not like a ramp where it like goes down to where it has to land. It's like they're like jumping a gap while going upward at an incline. You know, like somehow jump this gap and are still going upward. It has made no sense at all. But then they know that Dennis Hopper, right, the madman, is sitting at home watching the video of the bus, and Keanu Reeves is like, look, he somehow gets a message. We got to loop the video. He's got a video. We got to loop it, and then we can start getting people off the bus. And so they like run over to a news crew. And they just like explain it real fast, like, can you loop this? And but yeah, and the guy's like, yeah, I'll get right on it. And he starts like grabbing like VHS tapes, like, and doing stuff with a bunch of high tech equipment. And then but it's like the guy was watching a direct feed at his house, so the news station looping the footage is not going to do shit. But somehow that works. So now he's watching the looped news footage instead of his direct feed that he was watching, and you know, he finally notices that the one lady's purse is disappearing because there's like a little because they cut the tape together, and the fucking stupid lady, everybody's supposed to fucking remain still, she moves her purse behind her fucking legs. What an idiot! And he gives the whole fucking thing away. And it's, that purse is flashing. Oh my god, they loop the video, and he hits one of the side explosives right as that fucking Mexican lady is trying to jump. She dies. I think her name was Rose, if I remember right. And she's dead. They're all very sad. It's like, and then he gets on the phone like, "Do not attempt to grow a brain. Are you listening to me? You're gonna play by my rules, Jack." And
then Sandra Bullock is driving the bus. And
well, the bus driver
like, the wires are underneath the drive shaft, and so Keanu Reeves is down there by her legs while she's driving.
Sexy.
And they're like, "Oh, can you see it? Is anything covered?" And he's like, "Nah, it's totally clean." And then she's like, "What, my legs?"
Yeah, she was sassy. She was not taking any guff from the guys. That's for sure. Yeah. Speed. But you know what the other one was to do in slow motion over and over back then?
What?
You could probably get it. Do you? All right, whatever. I'll tell you. American History X, The Curb Stomp. We would watch that shit over and over in slow motion because it was also kind of funny because you could see like the frame where it was replaced with a fucking I don't know, some kind of fucking melon or whatever the fuck they use.
Skull melon.
Yeah, some fake skull. I don't know. And it was that shit all looks hilarious in slow motion. But yeah, the Speed one, his head did like stretch off of his body. It was like it was like made of Play-Doh. It was like this is some kind of silly putty neck that he had going on. But speaking of American History X, who's less racist when they come back from prison? I've never heard of that happening.
Is that what happened in America? I can't remember that movie.
Oh,
I don't think I
Jesus
saw that one.
criminy. Okay, listen. He catches some fucking guys. He's a fucking white supremacist. But hold on. First, they play a basketball game. It's all the white supremacists are really good at basketball somehow, and they challenge the black guys to a game of basketball for control of the court once and for all because there's too much.
Anything blacks can do, I can do better.
Right, that's what they're all singing. They're like, they're all wearing like Chippendales, like bow ties and just like shirtless in black pants, like singing to the blacks about their superiority. And so they play this basketball game. Here's what happens: they challenge the blacks to a basketball game and they win, and the blacks are pissed off. And and then some, I don't know, they're going to come. This is a place where they're always warring racially. And so then they're going to come and steal this guy's car as revenge, Edward Norton's car. And he sees him out there fucking around. And he busts out there. And I think he shoots one of them, whatever. He's fucking people up. And then one guy is kind of like disabled and injured. And he's squirming around in the street. And he just drags him over. And he's like, bite the curb, nigger. And he like puts his, and then the black guy has like these big ass teeth too. And he bites the curb. They show like the close up of his like giant teeth like biting down on the curb. And it's so gross. And, because you could just picture biting concrete. And Edward Norton stomps his head in. So he goes to jail. Right, but he somehow gets only a couple year sentence because they were like robbing him, And then inside, he makes friends with the black guy, and that kind of cures him, I think, and he figures it all out. And then he comes out and he doesn't want his little brother to be running with the white supremacists. But joke's on you, Edward Norton, you've become an icon in the white supremacist community and a hero, and your brother has an elevated status in those circles. And so now he's hanging out at hardcore shows, drinking beer with his flannel and his long hair and shit. And just, bro. He's like a stoner, like white supremacist. And then his brother teaches him. Through a series of lessons that that racism is wrong. And then finally he gets it, and he's about to go to school with like a whole new attitude. And he goes back to school, and this black kid that he had been beefing with comes in and shoots him in the head. Boom, done. Lesson learned. Sometimes it's too late to stop being racist. That's the lesson of that movie.
Just keep on being racist.
Yeah.
Do what
with what you know.
Do what you're gonna do, because odds are a black guy's gonna kill you. So there's no sense in understanding other cultures now. After all, you fucked around your whole teenage years. You spent them at some barn. And then they got their leader, who's like some like weird, effeminate guy with like thick glasses. And I forget his name. But he's always and Edward Norton goes and beats the shit out of him, But yeah, and his fat friend is driving around in his pickup truck listening to fucking white supremacist songs. You remember the songs. My eyes have seen the glory.
You used
of
to
the
sing
drum.
them.
Yeah, because we thought it was funny. We were fucking 13, 14, Me and my friends, when we were like 14, I think we thought we wanted to be like neo-Nazis or something. We didn't really do anything. We just thought that that would be cool, because we got the whole wrong message from that movie. We just watched that movie. We would just watch that movie and
haircuts.
be like, damn, these guys are fucking cool. Holy shit. Fucking
so badass.
They don't apologize to nobody. And Edward Norton seems like he really knows what he's doing when he's talking politics with his mom's like lefty Jewish boyfriend at dinner, and and he's like spouting out all these like facts and stats about immigration and stuff. Like, fuck, man, he really got that guy. That guy didn't have shit to say. He's just some fucking like
made him look like a punk.
Yeah, he's just a fucking typical libtard queer. Edward Norton really put him in his fucking place. You Jew motherfucker.
Okay.
I thought I'd throw a little Casino in there. By the way, watched Casino recently. Okay, what the fuck is going on with that movie? That's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in years. And I just forgot how cheesy and stupid it is. It's like the entire movie has the vibe of like an intro. Like the entire, you're just like, okay, when are they gonna stop narrating this and like have a movie and stop having this just big collection of disjointed scenes where like years go by in between and they just casually explain what happened, kind of, and it's just a stupid fucking movie. It really is like the most.
Isn't it like really long too?
Yeah, it's long.
It's kind of long. I don't think it's that long, but it just is. It's just like you never get.
It used to come on 2 VHSs.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it was a double. For sure.
Maybe
like
it was.
Titanic.
I know that I had a hard time getting through it, and like, you know, it's just these like, it's kind of like watching just a collection of like the storyline scenes in like a shitty video game. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, where people are like walking around.
Yeah, it's like weirdly pieced together. You know, like there's it like spans a long time, but like not in a cohesive way.
And then somehow it's really anticlimactic too. It just like doesn't, you don't feel anything. You're
Yeah,
just
nothing
like,
happens.
Whatever. Joe Pesci gets fucking beaten to death, you know, and buried with his brother. You know, they're beating the brother and the brother's like almost dead and he's like, he's still breathing, leave him alone, don't hit him no more. And they're like, oh, really? You don't want to do it? Bam! Just fucking smash his head in and throw them both into a fucking grave and bury him. They buried him with their while they were still breathing to set an example.
Yeah, that was kind of an intense.
That was all right. Yeah, that part was all right. But then the rest of it just was fucking boring. And then fucking Robert De Niro, what kind of fucking moron is he? He just fucking falls for this like Vegas floozy that just like scams guys for money. He's like, well, she won't do that to me. And then she just spends the whole money just fucking him around, or the whole movie fucking him around. Spends all the money. She like clears out the safety deposit box and shit. Just a fucking total cunt. You know. I wish that he would have killed her. I can't even remember if she dies. Who gives a shit? That movie sucks.
I think she does. I can't remember if she does either.
Yeah, whatever. But in the end, you know, he ends up just like he was, just being a bookie in a grocery store. With a fucking weird 1980s sweatshirt made of suede and wool for some reason. Those fucking ones. Why were people ever wearing those?
The idea was to be as weird as possible.
I guess.
What's the most uncomfortable thing we can do?
It's the 80s.
They'll love it.
People are going to look back at this uncomfortably one day. And all of our women are terrible. One hot woman in the 80s. They just didn't have them. Where the fuck are they?
Yeah. Name one.
Yeah.
They all had like a weird body shape.
They will.
And then they wore those like
Cher.
high rise thong.
Yeah, I mean the
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm wearing that.
Made their butts look 2 feet long.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
that's
know
true.
why I'm like picturing like 80s porn for some reason.
I don't think I've ever seen that even.
I don't think I have either. I'm just picturing it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what it must have been like.
It is. It's
Yeah.
like a little weird. Like, how did everyone decide that having like giant electrified hair looks good? You know, like everybody like, and yeah,
Suddenly.
and that's the thing. Like, women were a lot of men too. Like the androgyny thing was big in the 80s, right? And
Yeah.
that's just not sexy for anybody. I feel like. I just feel like that's just really a shame when that comes.
People are trying to bring it back now.
It's coming back now, yeah. And I do not dig girls like in guys' clothes that walk like guys and spit on the sidewalk, which is something I saw the other day. And it's like, I do not find you to be attractive, madame. If I would have said that, she'd be like, did you just assume my gender? Would you check your privilege? You cis white male. I didn't even know what cis meant until the other day.
I didn't either, and I don't know what it means.
Andrea, you want to explain it?
I'm gonna look it up.
Somebody told me the other day. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Because I don't give a shit. But it's like, what is that CIS? What does that even fucking mean? And it's something. What the fuck is it? Andrew, are you looking it up? It has to do with being like you're, I guess just being normal, like with where you're like a guy that dates women.
Yeah.
Or
it's a term for people who have a gender identity that matches the sex that they were assigned at birth.
So a normal human being.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a regular.
If you were born in a woman's body with a woman's brain, you are a cis female.
99% of the
Why do you see that like sarcastically thrown around like it's almost sort of an insult, or like it's like used like with animosity every time I see it? Like, are you really that
breeders?
Yeah, you're that mad at 99% of people? Okay.
Yeah. Why do we have to? Can't we just be like people and like can't I just be a woman? Why do I have to be a cis woman? Isn't that what a woman is?
Yeah. But now
you
I
can
don't
stop
know,
being
dude.
a cis woman when transgender women stop being trans women.
Yeah, why can't they just be a woman just because of their penis and testicles?
No, you have to make the distinction so that you know their struggle.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. My goodness gracious. I heard Caitlyn Jenner wants to go back out of the whole thing. Doesn't like being a woman. Can you reverse that? I don't think you can reverse, but I don't think she has the fucking penis inside out, so whatever.
Reverse penisectomy.
Yeah. I think you can just take out the old booberinos and
Just
start running some track again. Do what we made you famous for.
Back?
I don't know. Who gives a shit? All this shit's... It's like such a commotion and a to-do based on like such a tiny percentage of the population. It really is. It's just a fucking thing for people to argue about. I've never seen it being a problem in real life. I'm sure there are those times, like people who are, I've been a victim of a hate crime, fine. I'm sure it happens, but really, is it that huge of a thing? Like, where were these bathroom problems happening? Where was all this confusion? I never understood that. Why did there need to be this national discussion and laws being passed and blah, blah, blah? Like, who was having all these problems with bathrooms? The fuck is that?
I don't know.
Perverts.
Yeah, right.
Public masturbators.
Dude, it's just a big thing to get up in arms about and, cause a bunch of fighting. That's all. Nobody actually gives a shit. You don't really know anyone that care. Like, honest people might go, I don't really understand it. Kind of makes me uncomfortable, but I'm not going to fucking say it's wrong. That's I think that's probably the average person's view on it, right? On like most transgender issues, it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah.
Just, I don't care. Just do whatever you do. This, I think there's kind of an illusion going on that that it's like, only these really compassionate, understanding people can grasp that, and most of the country is so behind and bigoted, and this, like, I just don't see it that way at all. I think that people are generally pretty cool about that shit. Like, even rednecks, when you talk, they're like, hey, it's not my thing, and I wouldn't want it for my kids, but hey, to each his own. Like, it's like nobody really gives a fuck anymore, do they?
I don't know. Sometimes I read comments on things and I'm like, and people do really seem to care.
Well, and people get weird when kids are involved too, where they're like, well, if they want to do that, that's fine, but they're not going to teach my kids that way of life. Like it's something that they're trying to recruit children for.
Yeah. Come on, kids, come into this bathroom so I can tell you about the joys of being transgender.
Yeah.
Right. You ain't anybody until you switch genders. What are you gonna be hanging out just being a cis bro your whole life? Fuck that. Well, yeah, you know what? This guy wants to be a cis male. Well, here you go. Here's a Nickelback CD and some khaki shorts and a tribal tattoo. Why don't you highlight your hair and put a visor on and play frisbee in the park while you get drunk and ignore your girlfriends and then try to fuck them later in your car, you disgusting pig.
Yeah, sissy.
Bet you're gonna go watch some Family Guy, aren't you? Kind of ran out of steam there.
Yeah, you made your point.
Yeah. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Gives a shit. Who cares? Politics? No. No, thank you. Don't
No,
care.
thank you.
Done with it. Gary Johnson, suck my dick. I'm not voting
Over it.
ever again until somebody says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to decriminalize and fully legalize all controlled substances in this country and have some sort of, system of prosecuting all the people that knowingly took part in the hypocritical war on drugs. That's all I really give a shit about anymore. It's the biggest fucking issue in this entire country, the cause of more violence, confusion, and bullshit than any other singular entity, don't you think? The drug prohibition.
Yes.
I mean, when I hear a candidate say, yeah, that's common sense to fully legalize drugs and ignore the childish babbling of, but not cocaine and not this and not, no, and you can't, the kids, they're Jesus fucking Christ. You know how many kids do heroin?
All right, you're just going to legalize it so you could go to the corner store and get crystal meth?
Right.
I don't think so.
You know how many kids do heroin as a direct result of there being a counterculture around it that attracts, because there are a lot of kids that get into heroin. You remember kids that got into heroin when we were young. A lot of them were very smart, free-thinking people who saw this as like an escape into a counterculture. You know what I mean? And there's almost an elitism with young heroin addicts. You've noticed that, right? Where it's like they just think they're the coolest, It's like, yeah, you fucking pass out at Steak and Shake and fucking dribble food all over your shirt and sit there with a syringe in your arm. A thing I've really seen at Steak and Shake in Downers Grove, Illinois, is people just passed out with heroin needles in their arm on the table while our waiter handed us a bowl full of opium. That was back in the day when you could smoke cigarettes and cover everything up.
Really covers up the smell of that heroin.
Yeah, dude, we were like 16 sitting in Steak and Shake, and there's these guys passed out on heroin next to us, and the waiter just comes out like, you guys like opium? I just packed this bowl. It's all full of weed and opium. Here you go. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't think that kind of shit goes on anymore at Steak and Shake.
Remember opium?
Huh?
Remember opium?
Oh, God, opium's
Why
the best.
To have opium all the time.
I don't know. How did we
really
always
is
get
the
it?
best.
Oh, my God. Talk about, like, the top 5 couldn't stop laughing times in my life were opium, I think. Where you just want to stop laughing so bad because you're, like, around people now, and you just can't. I remember a really awkward one being at a baseball game in the local baseball field where we grew up, and remember my friends always worked at the concession stand, or I worked there and stuff, and we all went in the woods and got fucking high as shit on opium, and all the families are sitting around, and there's like 100 people sitting around, all these like nice suburban people. And they're like 8 of us fucking rejects come out of the woods with that fucking pure shit-eating stoned face, and just can't stop laughing and like hitting each other and fucking like, oh, shut up, dude, stop. And then one person like says the funny thing again, and you all have to like turn around and like face the street like, dude, I can't even look at it. And everyone's probably just like, dude, those guys are the highest people we've ever seen before. Like those. We're like, dude, they're gonna know. We gotta hold it together. Or everyone's gonna. They're just
they're
like,
gonna figure it out.
they're just like, I wish the
Open your
stoned.
eyes.
I wish the stoned kids would just walk past us faster. That would be actually pretty nice. Now that I'm an adult and I know how uncomfortable it is to be around groups of teenagers, you just want them to go away, like without making fun of you. Just get out of here, please, so I can pretend I'm young still. Fuck. Hard to do around actually young people. I prefer that you leave. But yeah, dude, opium being so high I couldn't get on the streetcar. I was just laughing and they threw me off. I think that's happened.
Do you think we'd still find opium at our age if we tried? Do you think the kids can still find opium? Do you think it's around?
That was the type of thing that like came around.
Maybe if you hit it in one of those Pokemon Go balls everybody's chasing around, maybe then they'd get some opium. You know what I mean?
I've had the same thought.
You're right. That's stupid.
I know. I have enough trouble figuring out how to get weed sometimes. It's like I used to have a network of 30 people to call, and now I have 2.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
One of whom I hate.
Who is it?
I'm not saying.
Is it Vinny?
No, because I still need to get weed from this person sometimes.
Is it Walt Jr.?
No.
Oh, no?
He would be fine. No, he's not. I haven't talked to him since he got back from Europe.
Is it David Box?
No.
Oh.
I like him. Nope. I just, you lose people as you get older.
Yeah,
And
you know what?
also lose the courage to call people you haven't talked to in a year.
I work with a pretty good amount of teenagers, and I'm gonna start asking them if they how easy it is to get opium.
And they'll be like, what are you, a cop? You have to tell us if you are.
Yeah, that's a law.
Yeah.
What,
I'm gonna find out some for next
Yeah,
show.
they're just gonna be like, what is this, the 30s? Like, yeah, I've heard of opium in my history book. They had some kind of dens that they laid around in with Chinese people. Sounds gross.
Oh, you want opium? Oh, we only do MDMX 45. You inject it in your eyeball? It's digital.
Ew.
Gross. What year do you think it is?
I don't want to be a teenager now.
Hey, what's happening? Are you guys chilling, or are you both totally exhausted?
No, I gotta.
Gotta go? All right. I guess we're out of here then, right, Andrea?
Yeah, I guess that's it.
All right. Well, this is Gyroscope right here.
Sweet.
Who I mentioned earlier. Let's take it out with some Gyroscope, and I guess we'll be back Wednesday.
See you Wednesday.
With probably a show that's more researched.
No.
This was good, though. This
Set
was
the bar
fun.
pretty high there, Vinny.
You guys have fun?
Yeah, I had a great time.
Me too.
I feel like I watched a couple movies.
Yeah.
Get it all in quick.
Yeah.
Tune in Wednesday for Overdose Movie Digest and Masturbation Stories. As always, thanks for joining us. OverdoseTalkShow.com. Check it out. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.